Good morning, everyone. My dear brothers and sisters. I don't know. Today I feel just like complaining. Right? Like all these readings, they just make you want to shake people up. Like in the gospel today, where the rich man says, Lord, let me go back and warn my brothers. I have 5. Like we have a responsibility. Every mistake that we've made in our life, we need to tell our children before it's too late, before they make the same mistake that you've made. And what are some of the mistakes that we've made? Oh my goodness, chasing after things that you thought would make you happy, and then you realize it didn't work. It didn't make me happy. I mean, when I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was growing up, and my father, like so many times, he just said, be an engineer. They make lots of money. So that's what I did, became an engineer. Went to school for 6 years, got my master's degree. 6 years. And I can tell you, honestly, I put in less than 50% of the effort I make today. And I was making a lot more. A lot more. We've got to warn our children. We've got to warn a lot of people. Anybody that you can talk to, just warn them. About what? Chasing after the wrong things. In the book of the prophet Amos, let me tell you something. He must have really got a lot of people upset. He got a lot of people upset. Don't you love this one? They drink wine from bowls. Not from cups, not from glass, bowl. You can just see them. They eat the grapes. Right? You can picture it. Lying upon beds of ivory, stretched comfortably on their couches. They eat lambs taken from the flock and calves from the stall. They have become complacent. That is the word. They've become complacent. There's no growth, no motivation. What wakes you up in the morning? If it's your alarm clock, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. The best alarm clock in the world is the one of purpose. When you wake up every morning and there's a purpose and you're passionate about it and you love what you're doing, you'll wake up before your alarm goes off. If you're waking up because your alarm is going off, you've got to redirect your time and your attention. Because you should be thinking about tomorrow, right now. What do I got to do? What do I got to do? Every Tuesday morning, I wake up early in the morning. Well, I wake up every day early in the morning. But I wake up especially early in the morning so that I can write a little motivational message, put it on a Post-it. Now let me tell you something. If you want to start a business, you know that there's no business that makes paper that runs through a copier like a Post-it. So imagine you could just peel it off and it's just like it has a sticker part at the top of it. If you invent that, you will be rich. So every Tuesday morning, I have to go to the office. I have to run a piece of paper, a really large sheet of paper that has a motivational little message, 4 times, 3 columns, 4, 8, 12, 12 of them. I have to put a Post-it over each one and run it through the copier again, hoping to God it doesn't get stuck in the machine, so that I can put it on every child's desk that's in 8th grade to motivate them for the week. Am I getting paid for that? No. Why do you do it then? Because I love what I do. I want to do it because I have to believe it can make a difference. I've got to believe that. There's a school in Tennessee just a couple months ago declared that they were going to close their school, a Catholic school. And I was reading the article. I want to learn. I want to know. And you know what they did? This was their strategy. This was their strategy. My dear families of Sacred Heart, we are closing our school. Well, our strategic plan was this. We're going to close every grade except pre-K to 3rd grade so that we can build from the ground up. You can't build from the ground up with all the grades. You can't fire all the mediocre people and bring in hardworking people that are passionate about what they're doing. You have to close all the grades except pre-K to 3rd grade. And then you think that's going to solve your problem. How many of you would send your kids to a school that closed every grade except for pre-K to 3rd grade and said, we're going to start from the ground up? You would be like, you're going to close your doors in 2 years. And they did. They did. Doesn't that bother you? That a Catholic school has to close its doors to countless generations. Doesn't that bother you? Especially in a world where morals seem to be disappearing and values and virtues. Oh, Father, don't worry, I'll be dead by then. I'll be dead by then. That's someone else's problem. Doesn't that bother you? Doesn't that make you sick to your stomach where you say, and then what makes it worse is they said, we did everything possible. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Don't get me started again, Jesus. It should bother you. You know, when you love God, not too long ago, I did a wedding. And it was two traditions. And 2 different religions. And I was there to bless it. And everybody was saying, isn't it so wonderful? Isn't it so wonderful how they were able to overcome their differences? And I was like, really? What's the difference? Both of these two love God. And it's so cute because the guy that was getting married, he said, I was so scared to ask this girl out because she was out of my league. I was in whatever the term is, right? She's in another league. And she is beautiful. And he is not. But she, gorgeous. And so funny because both of them grew up so strong in their traditions. And I said at the wedding, it seems like you guys missed the big point. When you love God, because that's the one thing that they love God. They love God. They're good people. They're good people. And they both love God. And I said, when you love God, no one is out of your league. Didn't you learn the stories in the Bible? David and Goliath? Didn't David think that he was out of his league? When you love God, nothing is out of your league. Nothing is impossible. God will bless you. You may have to put sweat, tears, blood, die, but in the end, nothing is impossible for those who trust and love God. You just have to focus on the right thing. What are you focusing on? What makes you wake up every morning? What stops you from being complacent? In the second reading today, St. Paul writes and talks about someone who this guy was not mediocre. He was a high achiever. St. Paul is a high achiever. And high achievers don't get along with mediocre people. And mediocre people don't like high achievers. And look at what he says. Beloved, first of all, I ask that supplications, prayers, petitions, and thanksgiving being offered for everyone. Prayers, petitions, and thanksgiving being offered for everyone. Ask for the right things. Think of being a good person, a good man, a good woman. Above all things, what should I be pursuing every day? To be the best version of who I can be. That should be what you're pursuing every single day. Why? So that you can offer your life to God in the best way possible, so that you can transform the lives of people around you. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. What are we here for? To serve God. How can I serve God? By being a beacon of light, by being a testimony of hope, by changing the world that I live in now. I was reading a Wall Street Journal. You see, I told you stories today, right? Stories. I was reading a Wall Street Journal. They were interviewing a seminarian, 29-year-old Catholic seminarian from Milan. They could have interviewed me instead of going all the way to Milan. And you know what the seminarian said? Today, if you want to be a seminarian, it's not going to be about the money or the status. Really? Explain to me when it was ever about the money. Explain to me. And there are churches, not Catholic, churches, Protestant churches, that will give 10% so that their pastor can have his private plane. And I have a cracked foundation in my house. But you know what? I don't care. And I don't need a private plane. But if you're going to give 10% so that someone can live their life in a very robust way, well, then give it for people that you can transform their lives, that could truly use it. I have to say to all of you that you remember just a week ago we had a goal for North Texas Giving Day to raise $1 million. 5 years ago when I got here, we were raising $80,000 a year. And you know what? We surpassed it. We raised more than $1 million. How did we do it? We worked hard. But you know what happened? You know what happened? There are people who believe that we are passionate at what we do and that we are determined to be the best at it, and that we will do everything possible to give every single child in this parish and in our community the best education possible. Because this world needs people who are motivated for all the right reasons. Amen?